Oh. Oh. Where am I? What time is it? I've been out for that long? Oh man, I'm really gonna need to tweak the recipe on this stuff. Ugh. Well, while I look into making some wake-up juice, stick around and I'll tell you the Appalachian legend of the Wampus cat. You might know it by a different name depending on where you're from, such as the Wampus beast, the galley wampus, the cattle wampus, or the whistling wampus. Oh, Lord.
The Wampus cat is said to inhabit the woods of Appalachia or the Ozarks, namely Tennessee, Arkansas, and Missouri. You gotta be careful with that Arkansas moonshine, as I have learned. They are reported to live in sewers during the day and come out at night. The description of this feline does have some variations. While most consider it a creature that's half cat, half woman,
so all cougar,
that can walk on either all fours or upright, others describe it as a large quadruped that looks like a mix of a cougar and a wild dog, with soul-piercing yellow eyes. Both versions seem to have a unique stink they emanate. Living in a sewer will do that to you. Ugh. The origins of the Wampus cat are rooted in Cherokee folklore. But even there, the legends can differ. Both versions involve a Cherokee woman. In one version, her husband went out hunting with the other men of the village. It was forbidden for women to participate in the hunt, but the wife grew curious. One day she followed this hunting party, disguising herself under the pelt of a mountain lion.
Now there's a saying about cats and curiosity.
Well, she got her wish and witnessed her husband's hunting party performing magic and reciting sacred stories. Unfortunately, she was discovered and punished by the village medicine man. He fused her to the mountain lion pelt she hid under, forever cursed to wander the mountains, unable to rejoin society.
Her resentment manifests in destroying farms and stealing animals. Now, the other version of this legend's a little more flattering.
In this account, the wife gets a name. She's Running Deer, wife to Great Fellow.
Or sometimes the husband's named Standing Bear. Now I wonder where the Ipecac is.
Their village was besieged by an evil spirit of madness, Iwa.
I'm too hungover to worry if I'm even pronouncing that right.
The chieftains decided to send Great Fellow and his hunting party out to confront Iwa. After several weeks, only Great Fellow returned, a little worse for wear.
I know the feeling.
He had been driven mad by Iwa. Running Deer's first act was to declare vengeance on Iwa. The village elders gave her a mask made from a bobcat to protect her from Iwa.
She spent several nights out in the wilderness, searching for the mad spirit.
She finally encountered Iwa. The bobcat mask reflected his power back on himself. He became as mad as Great Fellow and drowned himself in the river.
From then on, Running Deer became the guardian spirit of the Cherokee.
It was in this role that she became what is known as the Wampus cat.
And ever since the time of the Cherokee, the Wampus cat has been keeping the folks of Appalachia on their toes.
In the early 1900s, a hunter named Jenks Johnson and his dogs went out hunting one night. As they went along the path, the dogs got spooked and ran off. Johnson was hit with the stink of a wet dog sprayed by a skunk. A howl came up from behind him and he turned to see the Wampus cat up on its hind legs. Johnson dropped his rifle.
Because firearms are just absolutely useless for defense. Well, it reminds me, gotta add a little of this.
And he booked it through the woods, the Wampus cat nipping at his heels. Johnson made it to a friend's house nearby, but the Wampus cat didn't give up and began scratching at the door. His friend began reciting verses from the Book of Psalms. This seemed to repel the Wampus cat.
Heck, I can't blame her. I get bored by the time we get to about Psalm 7.
The following morning, Johnson found his dogs huddling in the friend's barn.
Another story comes from the mid to late 20th century.
During her first week of school at the University of Tennessee, A young girl looked out her dorm window one night to see a pair of yellow eyes. Upon further inspection, she saw it was a large bipedal cat.
Well, I'm sure after a couple pulls on this, I'd be seeing cat people in the middle of a college town too. But what are the explanations behind this Wampus cat?
It could be nothing more than a legend from the Cherokee, or a story created about them. The quadrupeds could be another case of an alien big cat. There's a more interesting theory involving the government. Uncle Sam was looking to breed a creature that could deliver messages across the battlefield during World War II. These part cougar, part wolf hybrids escaped into the remote wilderness and became the Wampus cats.
Now, the Wampus cat's made a few appearances in the media.
Most notably, it was featured on an episode of Mountain Monsters, where it was tormenting Willie. The Wampus cat also serves as the mascot for one of the houses of Livermore in the Harry Potter universe.
If you're into that sort of thing.
There's been a few books on the cat as well. Don Brasher's Wampus Cat, Mark of the Wampus Cat, and Haunted Tennessee features it. There's even an old rockabilly song called Wampus Cat.
But it has little to do with the cryptid creature. So that's the general rundown of the Wampus cat. My hangover cure is ready. So whether it's a Cherokee guardian, a government reject, or a tall tale is for you to decide. I just give you the history. Alright, well, bottoms up.